Alright, so recently we just got a pretty massive update going over basically what to expect on the update coming on the 29th, and there was a very interesting section where it talked about Ajax. Now, if you know anything about me, I am an Ajax main. He is my second most played character and one of my favorite in the game, but he suffers from a combination of issues and lack of understanding from the community that makes him seem like a worse Descendant than he is. But fortunately, the dev team recognizes some of the problems and actually dropped a pretty massive update telling us what they're going to be changing. Now, the reason why I'm bringing this up is because this is one of the biggest changes I've seen for a Descendant in a very long time, that in my opinion is going to take Ajax from an A tier to an S tier character. Now, as I said a moment ago, I do believe a lot of players don't understand why this is such a big change, and I'm going to try to help you guys understand it from a person who plays Ajax a ton. First, let's go over what is coming with the update so you understand. Ajax, Orbit Barrier, and Hypercube skill are now affected by attribute resistance, making them stronger. Now, that's a good buff in itself. That's not the major thing, but it's a good buff in itself. Basically, what this means is if you have components that have attribute resistance, you're going to be relatively effective. You're going to make your shields better, and you don't even need to change your current builds. Well, you will, not for this. You won't need to change your current builds because you're going to probably have this on your components, and you just get a straight up buff across the board on your Orbit Barrier and on your Hypercube. So very, very good. But here's where it gets crazy. Body Enhancement Modification Module increases HP, defense, and shield, and when using these skills, Void Energy will always recover to 100%, allowing the use of enhanced skills more often. Now, did you hear what that said? What it said was you will be able to use your enhanced skill more often. Every time you use it, you will get enhanced energy, basically. So for you to understand why this is overpowered, you need to understand why Body Enhancement is the trashiest of mods for Ajax right now, that a lot of you have been either baited into using or just basically don't understand Ajax kit. And I know a lot of you like to rip on me or get mad at me whenever I say, why did this creator suggest it to you? I saw Nightmare Frame suggest it. I saw Moxie suggest it. Two people who don't really play this Descendant. The reason why I'm always hard on those guys is because they're bigger than me, they have bigger pull than me, and they should know better than to suggest bad mods to you. But let's go over why this mod is bad. But I will never, as a creator, not rip on those guys when they make bad stuff. And I would like to hope that they do it for me too, because it makes us all better. Anyway, let's go over why this mod is bad, because there's actually two reasons why this mod is bad. And instantly when I saw these two things is why you will never see me have a build with this, and why I have never suggested this on any of my builds and would never suggest it in its current state. It is atrocious. Void Energy is no longer available through Event Horizon. That in itself, that line right there is enough for me to never use this. When I read that, me as a player who understands Ajax says, no way I would ever use this mod. Because this means half of your kit, which is your enhance, cannot be gained. As you can see here, you get no Void Energy, and your kit becomes... I don't even know what the logic behind this is, because what makes Ajax so strong is his enhance. His enhance gives him so much versatility, and when you take this off, you do nothing. You literally do nothing. So that mod was very obviously terrible. But let's look at the other half that makes it terrible. Increases defense and shield proportional to max HP. Now, you need to understand why this is bad, because what this mod does is what this mod does. It gives you HP and defense. These are things you're already gonna build. You're already gonna build these things on your Ajax. So why would you ever use a Transcendent mod that could use something powerful to do the same thing these two things already do? Alright, so we are doing a little bit of something I want to add post-edit, because I was watching the video back and I don't think I explained something very well. The reason why I think this is also bad is because there's a such thing as over-investing. Recently I saw a Nightmare Frame video where he was doing 100k shield and 100k defense, and that's fine in Warframe because those people don't know better. But in the first Descendant, having that much shield means nothing. Having that much HP means nothing. Having that much defense means nothing. You literally get nothing out of it. Obstructor's not killing you. Gluttony's not killing you, especially if you're moving good. I mean, Gluttony could kill you, I guess. But even then, your focus shouldn't be to get hit. right? Your focus should be not to get hit and do the mechanics. So over tanking doesn't really do anything for you in the long run. And yeah, if you're a bad player, which a lot of us were when we first started, and that's why I suggested, like on my first builds when we were like new to the game, I suggested to use those high HP builds and those high defense builds because, well, we didn't know what to expect from the game. Like we only had the beta experience. I only played the beta just like you guys. All of us did. So if we're doing first weekend, I'm trying to give you guys some content. Of course, the first week content is going to be worser than like actual a month in where we actually know better. So like that old playstyle where you have 100k defense, 300,000 shield and all this nonsense was good because a lot of you just needed to stay alive to finish the content like that. And I'm just being real, like we were bad, we just needed to finish the content. Even if it took us 9 minutes to do the boss, we needed to finish it, and that build helped that. But now we understand, our glaives are built, our endos are built, we know how to fight them now, we need to kill them now, we need to do mechanics now. So those builds have fallen off, and so it's important to move past that kind of mindset of being super tanky, because being super tanky is only for bad players, and you should never build around being bad. You should build around being good and being effective. That's a healthier way of playing. I'm gonna get back to the video because I'm starting to ramble again. But yeah, I want to add this in post edit because that was important. I should have explained that in the video, that you can use your common slot that you're already gonna do. So inherently, the reason why body enhancement is so bad is because, one, you lose half of your skills and you do nothing with it. So you just, and then you become tankier and you get more HP, but you can already do this. As you could probably tell with the development team, they understood that this was terrible. So they decided, hey, you know what? Let's not make this thing completely unusable and no one should be using it to make it be usable. So now let's look at what it does when it's enhanced so you guys understand the OP-ness of it. Whenever you use a skill, you will 100% gain your void energy, allowing you to spam your abilities. So what does Ajax do? So for those of you who don't know how this works, whenever you use multiple skills, you will gain void energy, and when you have void energy, everything will be lit up, and this will all have individual buffs that they can give you whenever you activate it. For example, the barrier. I can't show you an example of this, but whenever you enhance it, when something shoots it, they will take reflected damage back. This isn't that relevant right now because it doesn't scale very well. They need to fix that. But when they do eventually fix it, you'll be able to use this to pretty much give yourself a way to protect your allies and give them damage. If a dev do watch this, I would highly recommend, to make it actually good, would be to make the damage that the shield take that's reflected not actually damage the shield, but it is reflecting the damage. Like it genuinely reflects the damage from the shield. Meaning, for those who understand why I'm saying this, is we want to make it last longer so that whenever things shoot at it, it doesn't just break. So during the duration of it, it actually reflects the damage back, and the shield itself doesn't necessarily need defense, if that makes sense. Like when it's enhanced, like not enhanced, then it will apply the normal stuff where you shoot it and it takes damage. But if it genuinely reflects it, it will actually make the shield usable. I know this is a little, maybe a dev watches this and they see that, but that's what would be good for this. Anyway, what Void Walk will do, whenever you're enhanced, you get leap enhancement effect. And what this does is it increases the shield amount that you get for a certain duration. So as you can see here, we have 768 shield. Probably shouldn't have led with that one. Sorry. We can just press it. And now we have 1,374 shield. Now this doesn't seem like a lot, but when you properly build shield, this becomes a phenomenal amount of shield. And having this much shield means you're more survivable, and you can use this in the event that your shield is low or something, and you need a way to like maybe get out, or you just need to get some extra shield so that you're more tankier. You can refresh your shielding and just be more effective as a Ajax that could frontline because you have shield. And most importantly, if someone is down, for example, you have, let's say you're enhanced, you jump onto him, you have extra shield, you res him, he's completely fine. You get a lot of benefit from this, but keep in mind, with the body enhancement, the moment you press anything, that's gonna instantly go off a cooldown. I mean, go on cooldown where you can enhance, right? So this really enables Ajax to be strong. Next, you have your hypercube, which is actually pretty damn big. And whenever this is enhanced, anyone standing within it will get firearm attack and explosive attack increase while they're in it. This is great for a lot of Descendants who kind of want to not like get hit. I mean, no one wants to get hit, but like, let's say for example, you have someone like a Glay who does a lot of damage, but generally speaking, maybe a little bit more vulnerable. So ideally, to have a Descendant that can kind of keep her safe, it would be super, super nice, right? So let's say, let's maximize, we already have it. You have that, and you can press your shield here, which also gets influenced by the range. You, you press anything because you'll have it, right? It'll instantly come up. And now you have this huge bubble that your Glay and your Enzo, who's getting the Enzo buff, and yourself, by the way, is getting a firearm buff. And if you have good duration, you have this being defensive, you have great spot for your team to freely deal damage, and you can always cycle it. You just press V, costs no mana, boom, press it again. Literally constantly giving your entire team a buff with very little mana investment. And if you go like a little bit into mana, you're super good. And it's going to make him more well-rounded because it's going to change from what they said. Instead of increasing his HP, which means, by the way, this means a lot of you who hyper invest into HP, there's a very good chance, I don't have the like patch notes yet, but there's a very good chance that if you hyper invest into HP for your build, you may need to change it because it looks like they're going with a spread, if that makes sense. HP, shield, and defense. So this may be something that to consider and be prepared for. So for those of you who are wondering why this is so OP, being able to just press a single skill and to be able to cycle your enhance on what you want really is pretty nuts. And in my opinion, Ajax is actually a decent Descendant that does want defense, that does want shield, and does want HP. So in my opinion, this is going to become a meta mod for bossing. I have a passionate sponsor build, and that one is actually going to be really good for dungeons, which I would highly recommend you like use that for dungeons, not for bossing anymore, because I think this is going to be the good bossing build. But for the dungeons, use my passionate sponsor build that I did in the last video. We're going to do an updated like build in the future because I want to make sure you guys understand where each of those builds fit into the game now, because obviously dungeons is starting to come into play. You want to have a build for dungeons, you want to have a build for mobbing, you want to have a build for bossing. So that's really important. Anyway, I'm starting to ramble. Hopefully you guys kind of understand why body enhancement in its current state right now is terrible and why you shouldn't be using it. And hopefully for those of you who are looking to progress, because I know there's always going to be some guy saying, oh, well, I want 100,000 defense and 100,000 HP now to be useless and do no damage. I'm going to keep doing it. So hopefully for those of you who understand the future of the game, you like this, and now you understand why this is a massive increase for him and it's super good. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next video very soon. Later.